The lighting is out. I don't even know if you can see me. Anyways, it is what it is. I need to update my mic and my lighting. Those are two things that I gotta do. Alright, I'm gonna do it once once I get like 100 subscribers. I ain't doing it now. Alright? Because it's gotta be worth it. Anyways, this is Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate's first interview with BBC. Alright? If you guys don't know Andrew Tate, he's a transgender activist. And yeah, so I think they're actually a she, but you know. So shout out to Andrew Tate.
A new interview with the BBC. If you want to join the real world, we have a link in the description.
Ooh, the fuck.
Want to join the real world, we have a link in the description.
Andrew Tate,
What the fuck's going on?
you've agreed to do an interview with the BBC today.
Yep.
The material is going to be published on television, on radio, online.
Perfect.
We are doing an interview with you because you're facing some very serious allegations,
Correct.
rape, human trafficking,
Yep.
and also because there's a great deal of concern about the things you say and the impact that they have on young people, on women.
I don't think the concern's about the things I say. I think the concern is for the level of influence I have and the reach I have. I would argue that a lot of
You
the
got
things
influence because you say stuff, idiot. What the fuck?
that are already out there inside of the legacy media and the matrix as a whole are far more damaging than the things I say.
It's the concern about the influence you have being a harmful influence, but let's start with the allegations.
Not necessarily a harmful influence. The fact that I'm massively influential over the youth, and I understand that. But it's my influence as a whole which people are afraid of, not necessarily the things I say.
Let's start
It's so great watching him, like, literally trying to stop her from building a narrative, which is fair enough, you know, because she's already trying to build a narrative that he has a negative influence, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, he's doing a good job of, like, stopping it and rebutting it already. Rebutting? Is that a word?
with the allegations. Have you raped anybody?
Absolutely not.
Have you
What the fuck? Yeah, that's a crazy question.
trafficked anybody?
Absolutely not.
Exploited any women for
Absolutely
money?
not.
But you have admitted using emotional manipulation to get women.
Absolutely not.
Have you trafficked anybody? Have you raped anybody?
Absolutely
You know what
not.
it is about talking to, like, specifically white people, and I mean this from, like, not just generally white people who are, like, British, or it feels like this right here feels like, I don't know, this feels like a test, bro. Talking to some white motherfuckers that are, like, dressed a certain way is like a test. It almost feels like, you know, I don't know why. Like, having a conversation, like, she started with, like, real questions, like fucking tests, okay? She was like, what the fuck?
Have you trafficked anybody?
Absolutely not.
Exploited any women for
Absolutely
money?
not.
Like, look at this shit. What's going on, bro? It's like, what is this, bro? What the fuck?
But it's my influence as a whole which people are afraid of, not necessarily the things I say.
Let's start with the allegations. Have you raped anybody?
Absolutely not.
Have you trafficked anybody?
Absolutely not.
Exploited any women for
Absolutely
money?
not.
But you have admitted using emotional manipulation to get women to work in the webcam industry for you.
No.
Like, why I say, I'm saying that because it feels like he's like a fucking child, okay? This really feels, and I know his mother's like a British, I think she's British, right? Isn't his mother from the UK? This is like, yeah, this is like a mother-son moment right here. What the fuck is going on, bro?
Firstly, let's begin.
That's what I was thinking about. That's why I was saying test and saying all that crazy shit. Anyways,
Let's start at the beginning. I'm facing charges. The first one you mentioned, the rape one, has already been thrown out by a judge because there's no evidence of it. Secondly, it's very difficult for me to sit here and have a very frank and honest conversation with you while we're in
here's
it.
the thing. All right, I'm gonna replay this back.
the webcam
Okay.
industry for you?
No. Firstly, let's begin let's start.
Have you trafficked anybody?
Absolutely
Right? Have you trafficked anybody? Absolutely not. Have you raped anybody? Absolutely not.
not.
Exploited any women?
Absolutely okay.
Absolutely not.
But you have admitted using emotional manipulation to get women to work in the webcam industry for you.
No. Firstly,
Absolutely not. Why don't you say what is it not absolute? So like there is a little truth to that one, huh? Because you didn't jump to say absolutely not. You know, you say no. So it's not absolute, huh?
let's begin let's start at the beginning. I'm facing charges. The first one you mentioned, the rape one's already been thrown out by a judge because there's no evidence of it. Secondly, it's very difficult for me to sit here and have a very frank and honest conversation with you while we're in the territory of Romania about a legal case that's going on within Romania. I have to protect myself. I've agreed to do an interview with you, and I want to be as honest with you as possible, but I can't incriminate myself in any way, and I have to be very careful with what I talk about.
There are no charges yet.
Correct, there
A
are no
judge
charges.
has said that
There are
more
no
evidence
charges,
must
and I've agreed to speak to you, but I have to be as honest and frank as I can while also protecting myself and following my legal counsel.
So let's talk about what you've said yourself then. You have said on the website for your original website for the Hustlers University that you emotionally manipulated women to fall in love with you so that you could get them working
God,
in
who
the
the fuck is the PR team behind this? Like, this is so stupid. I can't believe he did this. You know? He's like so. This is such a stupid thing. Like, or maybe he's just not gonna answer these questions. Maybe that's what it is. Cause how the fuck, like, you have an ongoing case? How are you literally having an interview about the case before the case is over? Like, this is absurd.
sex industry for your financial gain?
As I said, I have to be very careful with what I say, but let's put it this way. No women are coming out against me and accusing me of doing it.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. Who?
Look at this, bro. This is like a mother-son moment. Guys, this is beautiful.
There's testimony from the current investigation.
The current
There are
investigation,
other
which I
women
cannot
who
discuss,
spoke.
which I know intimately and you don't, I can tell you right now that the women
Yeah,
who
mom.
are in this case file, there are 2 American women who have been caught already admitting they're lying, and then nobody else is accusing me of anything.
To begin with, it's very common in cases like this that the alleged victims do not always see themselves as victims.
Well, that's very interesting. It's actually extremely interesting because if I was a matrix-controlled organization, my goal was to slander somebody and try and destroy their name, you're telling me that they've chosen a crime which, 1, is heinous, of course, because it damages the person's credibility, and 2, you're saying that even if everyone else involved, if you have 5 people and everyone's sitting
What
there
did he
saying,
just
no,
say
nobody's
randomly?
hurt anybody, we like Andrew, we've all worked together, or we're friends, etc.
That's not what everybody's saying.
No.
Let me read you some of the testimony from the current investigation.
Can I finish please?
One of the witnesses said...
Can I finish, please?
You're not answering the
Can I
question
finish,
I've asked
please?
you. You're not answering the question
I
I've
am
asked
answering
you.
the question. You're
Let
saying
me read you the
you're
testimony of
saying
one of the witnesses.
you're saying the people who are involved in this, even if they say they're not victims, that they're still going to try and attack me and
They
pretend
are
they're victims.
treated as victims by the case that's ongoing. And not all of them are saying that. One of the witnesses says... You,
We can't just we can't go into the case. The case is open and after.
Look at his fucking like breathing, like dog. You look at this and you go alpha. You have a problem, okay? He's like breathing. He's fucking having a whole panic attack. Come on, bro.
ongoing. And not all of them are saying that. One of the witnesses says... You,
We can't just we can't go into the case. The case is open and after.
well, let's just be clear that not all of the witnesses in the case are behaving in the way you describe. And even those that are, it doesn't bar them from being treated as victims by the prosecution by the case.
We have an open criminal investigation. I am absolutely not really sure I'll be found innocent. I know the case better than you. I know it intimately and you don't. I have seen all the criminal files and the evidence against me and you haven't. I know the truth of what happened and you don't. And I'm telling you absolutely not really, I've never hurt anybody, that the case that's been put against me is completely and utterly fabricated. And I'm never going to be found guilty of anything. And it's very difficult for me to answer your in-depth questions because we're sitting here inside of the territory of Romania. I'm beholden to the Romanian legal system. And I'm not going to incriminate myself because you're trying to prod me. You are wrong, and we're going to have to accept that for now and talk about something else.
Let me read you then what you
What do
have
you
said.
mean incriminate yourself? I thought there was nothing criminal about you.
About
Sure.
what you have done.
Sure.
You have said My job was to meet a girl, go on a few dates, sleep with her, get her to fall in love with me to the point where she'd do anything I say, and then get her on webcam so we could become rich together.
I don't think that's what I personally said. I think
That's
that's
exactly what
no,
you said
that's
on your
that's
website.
that's no. I've never said that. That's something that you found on the internet. Doesn't mean I've said it.
In
And
your
and,
words.
and again,
Yeah,
once
she found you saying it.
again, if any female on the planet has a problem with me, I strongly recommend her to go to the police and try and pursue me for criminal charges. It's actually very interesting that me, one of the most famous people in the world, who's been vilified by the legacy media and places all over the internet, while everyone has attacked me from
I'll
every
be
single.
honest with you, this ain't it, bro. This ain't the Andrew Tate I like. I like the Andrew Tate being dominant. He being a pussy, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Alpha guys. I'm sorry, but he's being pussy right now. This your man's? Damn, bro. This ain't it. Damn.
Angle. While federal agencies from multiple countries have called over 2,000 women who know me, we stand here with 0 new accusations since my arrest. 0. If you took any famous person, any man of substantial wealth, and you called 2,000 women who knew him, you'd find an ex-girlfriend is upset, somebody who wants money who's upset. They called 2,000 people who knew me and could not find a single woman to make a new complaint.
The BBC
The only complaints they have against me.
What is this? Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to attack women. He's like, attacking women is very normal, okay? Like rape, that's something we do daily. But I did it to 2,000 women. I didn't do it to them. I did it to like 5. Not 2,000 though. What are you talking about?
Are the initial complaints, which we can prove are lies, and that's where it stands. So I'm not going to sit here and allow you to pretend that I'm some kind of evil predator, when actually I'd argue the fact that people who've been investigated to the level I've been investigated to, if you were to take the average man on the street and investigate his entire life for 14 months, call everyone who's ever known him, and vilify him in the media, and encourage people to come forward for money, and you try to contact every
You
ex-girlfriend
think
he's ever had.
would come forward and accuse those people of rape and accuse those
I
people
think
of
that you would have a lot more.
manipulation?
I think you would have a lot more flack than I've got. I'm actually such a nice person that
The
I've never had
BBC has
anyone come at
spoken
me.
to somebody since your arrest who says exactly those things. That with you, it's all manipulation. There's an ulterior.
Is this
motive
Sophie?
to everything.
Is this
you've
Sophie?
done.
Oh, it's Sophie, the fake name, no face,
I
no
was so
the
intent
story
on
that was
wanting
invented.
to please him and wanting him to be happy that I was just kind of okay, do whatever you want.
And what is she
That's
accused?
what
Has
I
she
did.
accused me of a crime? This imaginary Sophie?
She's making the point that there is
Has she accused me of a crime?
emotional or psychological manipulation.
I've asked you a question, and I've allowed you into my house.
I'm asking you a question.
Correct, but you're not the boss here because I've allowed you into my house
I'm
Oh
asking you the question.
Oh shit.
correctly, and I'm telling you,
You get to decide the answers.
no, we're equal here. I've allowed you into my house. You don't come here with a position of authority. I'm doing you the favor as legacy media, giving you relevance by speaking to you, and I'm telling you now.
See now, I like this. I like this, Andrew Tate. He said, "Yeah, I'm giving you."
This Sophie, which the BBC has invented, which there's no face of, nobody knows who she is.
The
and
BBC did not invent.
of
that.
course not. And because you never invent anything. And she's not filed criminal
shit.
charges against me. What are we talking about?
Oh shit! Hold on, I think I got to react. Oh shit, bro.
Talking about emotional manipulation
Has
into
she-
the sex industry for your financial gain.
Absolute garbage. She has not filed criminal. This person, if they exist, has not filed criminal charges against me. I welcome anybody who believes I've harmed them, male or female, any point in the past, to file criminal charges against me. I will fight them. I know who I am, and I know what I've done, and I know the truth, and I know that I'll be found innocent of this attack. The reason I'm being attacked is because of my massive influence, not because I've ever hurt anybody. And for you to sit here and say that everybody around you is saying you're innocent, but that doesn't matter because the state will say they're victims, and they're just going to grab everybody you know and call everybody victims, even if they say they're not, and try and put you in jail. You are describing a matrix attack. You're not.
There are 3 things here, right? There are that he might be right. Sure, they might be attacking him for what he's saying, which I don't think is a stupid idea. It might be that he's actually is these things. He's actually a trafficker, or it could be like the reality, which is that why would people attack him? Why, like, his ideologies are not far off from the status quo. Why would they attack him? That's it. You know? Especially in these ways. Like, you're not a threat, bro. The fuck? You know what I'm saying? And I think the third is true. Like, I don't think he's right. I don't think they're actually attacking him because he's, like, has massive influence. Like his influence is not going to amount to anything. He doesn't even criticize actual things. He just says work hard, you know. And then he like shits on feminist people, and then he's like, yeah, that's the Matrix. Like there's not actual ideas that you even have or you support, you know. Like you just tell people or you scream at people, get rich because I'm rich, and you don't even explain like how to get rich or why they're poor, you know. You don't do that. There's nothing to attack. Like there's nothing you don't. Massive problems come from people um, who are able to create ideologies. You haven't created any ideology. Like you didn't create red pill or traditional conservatism. Like you just joined in. So what's the threat? You're not a threat to anybody, to anything. You're not a threat. You're just a fucking trend follower. You know. That's it. And you try to make money from following trends and being more extreme in those trends and in those niches. That's who you are. Like, what, there's nothing, there's nothing that you could say or anything that you could do as Andrew Tate that other people couldn't do. Like you didn't, or there's nothing that other people didn't do that you did do. Like you're just literally a trend form. You came in a fucking niche and a time where all these things that you were doing were being done, and you did it at like a much more higher level, I guess. And then.
Driving human trafficking.
I'm describing women who are going to court to accuse you of rape and human trafficking.
We will see what women go. We will see what women go to court at
Can
the
I
end of this
finish,
trial. We'll see which women go
Can
to
I
court.
finish, please?
We'll see which women go to court.
I'm describing women
What
who
do you
are
mean
going to
we'll
court to
see
accuse
what women go to court? You
you of rape and human
Sophie hasn't
trafficking.
gone to court. Sophie doesn't
And
exist.
I'm describing women who have spoken to the BBC at length
Sophie doesn't exist.
and other media organisations about what they say is emotional manipulation and coercion. And I'm quoting back to you your own words where you describe
They're not my words.
coercion.
They're words
and
you
emotional
found. They're
manipulation.
words you found on the internet, and Sophie doesn't exist.
On
So
your
let's move on to
website,
the next
in
subject.
your voice.
Move on to the next subject.
No, I think I'll stick on this one for a minute. So there's other places in that same website where you say you get girls to fall in love with you and they do it because they love you, because they want to do what you say. Convincing women to take part in some kind of business arrangement doesn't work long term because they're emotional. You've got to get them to fall in love with you.
Once
That's
again,
coercion, that's emotional manipulation, that's abuse.
what you've found are clips from the internet, some text from the internet, and you're going to sit here and tell me that's the reason I should.
No, it's like
Right.
clips from the internet, and then he's like text. If they're clips, then that means you said it. Like at least have the fucking decency to be like, it's out of context. Like what's going on? He's like, yeah, I did say it. No, you said it, bro.
Your words.
It's not my website.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Check my website. Next.
It's the website you've taken down, and I wonder why those comments have been taken down.
No website's been taken down. My website is the same. It's been the same for a very long time.
The comments on this website, on the original website, have been taken down, and I wonder why.
You are accusing me. I'm guessing what you're trying to say is you're accusing me, and you're trying to say that I'm guilty of the things I'm accused of, and that I'm emotionally manipulating people.
I'm saying that you have
He's just denying it, and for somebody who's not blindly following him, what he's doing is very obvious, and it's probably gonna look dumb, right? But if you are blindly following him, you believe what he's saying, so you actually think he's doing a good job. So everything is perspective, baby.
said you emotionally manipulated people here for your own financial gain,
No, absolutely not.
and I'm asking you about that.
Absolutely not is the answer. I look forward to the end of this trial. I look forward to clearing my name. I look forward to the BBC and the legacy media having to say not guilty and having to tell the truth. As I've said before, the only other person who's been found, despite absolute rigorous, destructive levels of investigation and prodding into my life, is this imaginary Sophie by the BBC who doesn't exist. And if you were to find any single other man on earth and try and analyze his life forensically to the level they've done mine, you would find genuine damage to people. I don't hurt people.
It's not just
Thousands of
personal
women have come out in my
allegations.
defense. Thousands of women have come out in my defense, and you've not mentioned that. Thousands of women come out in my defense.
Because the problem is when women accuse you of serious crimes
Okay,
and emotional
but
manipulation.
let's agree that
that's
thousands
the
of women.
problem.
Let's agree that thousands.
Okay, thousands of women came. So what? Like you could be acting. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like you could be putting on a face. Like you could be two-faced. So what? Like, what the fuck, bruh? Like, what are we talking about? Oh my god. Even if you were the best person in this world, right? Even if you were Superman, the idea of justice is looking at you, and even if you're like the perfect person in the world that everybody likes, that everybody defends, that nobody would ever believe that you would be like a predator, even then there's a possibility of you being a predator. And that's the whole point of the justice system. Okay? That's it. Like, he's trying to make an argument of like, oh, women defended me. So what? Doesn't mean anything. Women could defend you to death. Doesn't mean you don't attack other women. That's not how it works, you know?
Problem that some people say you haven't done it. It's a problem that some people say you have.
Thousands of women come out in my
Because
defense, and as we stand,
what he's gonna do throughout is like he's gonna try to bring other cases out, other cases that have nothing to do with nothing, and he's gonna bring them in, and he's gonna be like, well, this is my personal character. Like I give to charity, to women's charity. Like he's probably gonna use these types of techniques or tactics, you know, because he has nothing else. Just that's what he's gonna do. But that doesn't matter though, because if you did something, you did something. If you didn't, you didn't. That's it. Who you are as a person might not have to do with what you've done and the bad things that you've done. Because who you are as a person is who you perceive to be, right? It's like almost somebody that you make up in your mind because you're like aware of everything that you do. So who you are as a person or how you treat people, in most cases, even though it could define your character, it does not define your personality as a person. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is he's trying to do like something that has nothing to do with nothing. You know what I'm saying? He could be the best person in the world and still commit crime. So all these things that he says, like women defended me, I donate to charity. How could I fucking kill like it doesn't make any sense. That's what I'm trying to say.
right
Okay?
now we have an open criminal investigation. The people who are involved in the criminal investigation are saying that we're not victims of anything. Andrew's fine, he's never hurt us. You're saying, no, I have the opposite to that. I have to counter that. I have someone called Sophie with no face, a fake name, who we've invented, and she's not accusing you of anything criminal. So I don't see the whole point
You
you're trying to
say
make
you
here.
manipulate women, they say you manipulate women. Why wouldn't people think you do?
I'm not here. Do you think I'm manipulating you?
I'm asking you about the testimony you've given on your website and the testimony
No,
women have given
you've
about
printed
you.
something off that you found on Reddit, and you're going to sit here and say that that makes me a bad person. I'm
No,
saying-
you're not manipulating her because you don't have to manipulate her. She already is like on the enemy side. You know what I'm saying? You don't end up, you don't manipulate somebody like no. You're not trying to manipulate her. You're actually you're trying to defend yourself against her because she actually has a perception of you being a horrible person, and you know that. So you don't want to change your mind because you know you're not capable to change your mind, right? Like you can't. She already has like an accurate description of what she thinks of you. So you know you can't change your mind. So you're being more defensive. So you're not trying to manipulate her, you know. Like, but other people who don't know you and who don't have that type of perception in their mind, you try to manipulate to create a good perception to take advantage of them. So no, you're not trying to manipulate her. No.
You should know better as a journalist and do some proper journalism. Let's investigate the fact that
I think
thousands.
you should answer my questions
I am.
properly.
I am. I already have, and we should move on. She's just trying to start an argument.
It's not only about the criminal allegations. It's a much bigger issue. You've got children's
The fuck is
organisations
that
in the
care?
UK, you've got rape organisations in the UK, you've got the police naming you by name as someone who has a harmful influence on children and on women in the UK and elsewhere because of the things you say, because of the way
She's doing such a bad job, by the way. She's doing like the worst. They're like, yeah, let's pick the worst person to send to Andrew Tate's house to look stupid, and she had to be a woman too, you know. She's doing such a bad job. It's almost like Andrew Tate fucking assigned her to it. You know what I'm saying? Fuck me.
you present gender relations, the way you say men should treat women.
That's very upsetting. And the reason that's very upsetting is because I know that's not true. I'm genuinely a good person. I believe my impact on the world is positive. In fact, if you were to read the comment section of nearly
She's
any
not even like,
video I
when he says these things, he's obviously trying to lay structure to a conversation. She's not even trying to do that. She's like, are you a rapist? And obviously, when you ask somebody if they're a rapist in like the most direct way, oh my god. If you ask somebody if they're a rapist in the most direct way, the first second into the interview, that's what she did. Like, obviously, they're going to be very defensive, and obviously, they're going to be like, no, I'm not a rapist. And they're going to stand on that ground because they already have an understanding of what you're trying to get from them. You know what I'm saying? Like, lay conversations, like, have a structural conversation, and then from there, you could have criticism. Like, I don't know, bro. Jesus fucking Christ. Like, she's just like jumping from question after question, and all these questions are like basically asking him directly or indirectly. It's basically asking him if he's like a fucking bad person, and he obviously is gonna say no, and obviously he's going to like point to other different things and be like, yeah, I'm a good person, like I did this, like all women love me. It's like the same thing. It's boring, and you're doing a bad job, BBC. Jesus Christ, take this, BBC.
post, especially by the legacy media, 95% of the population agree with me. Most people know that the things I say are positive. Legacy media
Why is she wearing black? Is she black? BBC.
as a whole has lost all its credibility in the last 3 to 4 years. Nobody believes it. And it's a shame, it's a massive shame the BBC come here and try and push and purport this idea that I'm a dangerous person.
I'm putting my own words to you.
I'm anti-drugs, so I've never pushed drugs or any, I'm anti-drugs, I'm anti-violence. The UK is facing a knife crime epidemic, and they're
Well,
going to
you
sit here
have
and say,
said.
they're going to sit here and say that I'm the most dangerous man in the UK.
You have
Not only-
said you're the most dangerous man in the world.
I've said I'm the most dangerous man in the world.
You did.
You've also said that a woman's intimate parts belong to her male partner. I'm glad you find that funny.
I find it funny that you're sitting here saying that I've said I'm the most dangerous man in the world, and you believe that's. When did I say that?
I'm asking if you
No, bro. Like, you just, like, at this point, are you a different person? You didn't say that? Bro, did he not say that? Oh my, I'm too lazy to fucking research. He definitely says that. That's like a fucking thing that he definitely says. You know? She accidentally, like, fucked him
parts
over.
belong to her male
Like, look
partner.
at this.
You've also said that a woman's intimate parts belong to her male partner. I'm glad you find that funny.
I find it funny that you're sitting here saying that I've said I'm the most dangerous man in the world, and you believe that's. When did I say that?
I'm asking if you believe it.
No, you said you're the most dangerous man in the world. Is that some kind of proof that I'm dangerous? Am I Dr. Evil now? I'm telling you that it's very upsetting that you're going to sit here and that certain organizations in the world are going to try and pretend that I'm the biggest force of evil on earth when I'm genuinely a
telling
force
you
for
what
good.
you have said.
I'm genuinely a force
Not
for
what
good.
I've said.
And the reason they're doing this is because of the massive influence I have over the youth, and they don't like that I'm telling the youth to think outside of the matrix and ignore things like the
A
BBC,
lot
which
of
come here with loaded questions and false narratives and try and paint innocent people as guilty.
You've said women's intimate parts
What?
belong to their male partner.
I said that if a woman marries a man, she takes his last name and traditionally the man gives her away. I've been pushing traditional religious beliefs, because I'm a religious man, and traditional beliefs in regards to marriage, which everybody
When the fuck did you become religious, dog? Like, when? The one time you went to Dubai? Come on, okay. You know what? Sure.
accepted 10 to 15 years ago.
So what-
that's
why do you say?
that's not a crazy
The only thing in society that allows actual, like, degenerate misogyny or whatever, homophobia, even racism to some extent, is like religion. So obviously, you know, that's it. Like, unless you stick it to religion, you can't rationalize these things or justify these things. And that's also probably the other thing that he's gonna do, because if she keeps playing that you say this game, she's not going to do anything, because he's just gonna be like, yeah, well, I say this, and then he's going to use some other thing like religion or some other thing like of his like personal life, and people saying that he's good, or girls defending him. Like, he's gonna use these things to justify these other things, or to argue against these other points that she says. It's stupid. Like, and I don't know how she's still not noticing that, and she's still going like the full circle. She's still going that circle. This is stupid.
conspiracy theory. If you're going to sit here and say that me believing a woman should take a man's last name in marriage makes me the most dangerous man in the world,
Like, that's not what you say, and that's not what you fucking say, bruh. You did not say that. You said a woman belongs to a man. Okay? Like, do words don't matter no more? Like, words don't matter. Okay, cool. Language is nothing. All right.
You're just going to lose even more credibility than the BBC's already lost in the last 4 to 5 years. If that's your point, if that's your narrative you want to
also
push,
say that
good
men
luck.
should be able to sleep with a lot of women outside marriage. That doesn't sound very religious or very conservative.
That's not what I said they should be able to. I said a lot of high-value men, a lot of rich men do it. And then we discussed at length on podcasts why rich men do it. And we also discussed why women decide to be unfaithful. It's not a gendered argument. We discussed unfaithfulness as a whole. What are the reasons and motivations for men, and what are the reasons and motivations for women? Because you have no time to actually, watch my content, because you have no time to actually watch my content at length and understand what I'm saying, you just come here with a small snippet which has been provided to you on a piece of paper.
3 times doesn't make it true.
No, completely. You don't have a clue what I say.
If, by the way, I do agree with him. I think she came in with, like, this interview right here would have been much better if she just understood what his arguments were. And because his arguments are very basic, okay? It's basically, that's not what I actually said, and that's not what I say. That's it. And that's what he's going to do. So you should just, like, seek for an actual structured conversation to catch him on these points and to like fucking functionally, what's the word I'm looking for? To challenge him. Because if he gets any type of challenge, like actual challenge, rationally, he's going to lose. Like, you're going to make him look stupid. And that's going to make BBC look good, you know? If, like, a fucking 56-year-old, well, not even 56, she looks like a boomer. Like, much older than 56. But if, like, a random interviewer from the BBC embarrassed Andrew Tate, that would be, like, much more significant for the BBC and much more, that would make the BBC look much more good. But they just came in with the, like, let's just get some Andrew Tate content. They're like fucking podcasters who like invite him on. That's like what they're doing right now, okay? BBC is just like platforming him to, you know, for nothing. That's why he's right, by the way. The BBC is
What I talk about, you never watch my content. You have small pieces of paper, small clips on a piece of paper, and you're trying to pretend I've said evil things. And then you're going to say I'm the most dangerous man in the world, which is truly laughable.
You said that, not me.
Okay. Do you believe I'm the most dangerous man in the world, Lucy?
I'm not answering your questions.
Well, then we need to change
Dog,
the
you know
dynamic.
how stupid you have to be to, like, have the same argument, which is like, this is what you say? Yeah, bro. Whatever. Get over it. He's not fucking... He's not going to be like, oh yeah, that's what I said. Oh my god, you're right. Like, no, just get over it, bro. Like... Jesus Christ.
Because, and I'll make this clear, I allowed you into my home. I'm doing you a favor, giving you the first interview I'm giving to the public. You don't come here with a position of authority. You're not the police. I don't respect the BBC. I don't know you. You do not come here with a position of authority over me. We are equals. We are people. We're citizens of the world, and we sit here as equals. And I see you as my equal. And if you ask me questions,
Who wants to bet? She's probably gonna make like another documentary being like, he was terrifying. The trauma I endured while interviewing Andrew Tate was so terrifying.
I can ask you questions back. For you to come here and sit down and pretend you're the Gestapo and that you don't have to answer my questions is disingenuous because I don't owe you anything.
Asking questions and you answer.
But I don't owe, no,
however you want.
this is a conversation and I don't owe you any degree of authority over me. So let's make that clear. And that doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or from the BBC or the CNN. I'm here to answer your questions and be honest with you and do you a favor.
Great.
And I'm doing you a favor. But you come here with loaded questions, you're trying to paint a narrative of me which is negative.
I'm asking you
And
about
that's
things
fine.
you've said that people are concerned about.
And that's fine.
You
But you're
have
not
said
going to sit
a
here and say you
woman's-
don't answer my questions because you're not above me.
This is also not supposed to be a third degree, it's supposed to be a conversation.
Absolutely.
Well, it would help if you
She-
answered the question.
I've answered every question so far.
Let me ask you
She
another
fucking sucks, dog. I'm sorry, she really sucks. Like, are they just gonna argue?
Sure.
You have said that a woman's intimate parts belong to her male partner, and if she goes on OnlyFans, he is entitled to a cut of her income.
You are extremely, it's very confusing to me why you're going to sit here, take long format podcast sites.
Like, even as bad as she is, okay? Even as bad as she is, alright? Which she's fucking horrible. she still is like unable to make him look good because of the lack of any level of real arguments that he has a lack of arguments. That's it. He has a few things to justify the things that he said. Other than that, like the other crazy shit, he has nothing to say. Like, he has no arguments, dog. Like, look at this.
Supposed to be a third degree, it's supposed to be a conversation.
Absolutely.
Well, it would help if you answered the question.
I've answered every question so far.
Let me ask another question.
Sure.
You have said that a woman's intimate parts belong to her male partner, and if she goes on OnlyFans, he is entitled to a cut of her income.
You are extremely, it's very confusing to me why you're going to sit here, take long format podcasts I've done, which are 3 or 4 hours long, in context where I've sat with OnlyFans girls, 10 or 15 OnlyFans girls, where we've been joking back and forth, ignore every comment and satirical comment and sarcastic comment that the females have made, and then come along and say, you said this and that.
Didn't you say that in like you say that and like you say that in like a one-on-one interaction with somebody, like the dating thing. What was that? What was that chick's name? The UK chick. Okay? That was the first time you said it, and then you repeated it on like other podcasts. I think several other podcasts. Like I seen you repeat it in like the Dave Portnoy, who's his name? Dave Portnoy, in his podcast. Like I've seen you repeat the same thing there as well. So you've said it multiple times, and you even stood on it while you were being challenged. The least you could do is like at least make the same arguments you made a year ago. You know, instead of being like, I literally didn't say that. You know, or that's not really what I say. Words matter. The fuck.
And you're the most evil man in the world. I don't know if you understand what sarcasm
Did you
is.
say it?
I don't know if you understand what sarcasm is. I don't know if you understand what context is. I don't know if you understand what satirical
So you're saying
comments
it
are.
was sarcastic?
I'm saying it was a very interesting talk show. And for you to sit here and say that that is my true core beliefs and that makes me a bad person.
The problem is she's not going to, she's not properly going to challenge him because she knows nothing about it. Like she has no clue. I mean, she has no clue, period, about like generational things because she's like 90, first of all. But like she just has no clue about this guy. Like she doesn't know, you know what I'm saying? All she knows is that he's like a very influential person, and he's like a rapist. That's all she knows, and that's it. That's as much as she knows, bro. You could just tell. Like this is like a bad person to interview him.
Genuine.
Is it?
Of course not.
Was it sarcasm?
Absolutely. You should watch the show.
You were being sarcastic
You should-
when you said. Let me
you
just
should-
clarify.
you should
okay?
watch the show.
Let me clarify.
Like George Janko from Impulsive would do like a better fucking interview with Andrew Tate. That's how.
For the audience, you were being sarcastic when you said a woman's intimate parts belong to her male partner.
No.
You didn't believe that.
No, it's not that. It's that you haven't watched the show at length, and you should have, because the woman was saying, my man's car belongs to me because he's my man. And she was on OnlyFans. And then 20 minutes later, when she said she was on OnlyFans, I said, well, you're selling your body, that belongs to him because he's your man. And she laughed,
Do you believe it?
she laughed, and she said, yeah, that's probably true. If
Do
you
you
watch the
believe it?
show, it will make sense. For you to come here with doing no
This
research.
could like easily be fucking like, okay, well, you said it like twice after that in like different contexts, and nobody was laughing. People were literally like arguing with you, being like the other chick that you said that to. She was like literally fucking arguing with you, saying that it was absurd. It's absurd there, mate. Right? Same with the other podcast with Matt something. With Matt Portnoy, what's his name? Mark Portnoy? Who's his name? With him. The Barstool guy. You are arguing and debating these ideas. Like nobody was laughing, agreeing with you, or like in a sarcastic way. You weren't saying these things in sarcastic ways. Like shut the fuck up.
At all, and then say, I don't understand what I'm talking about, but I've got this piece of paper with a few things printed off. That's why you're saying the silly things you're saying. You should watch the show, do some research.
Do you believe it?
She already answered
I've
that.
already answered the question.
Not really.
Of course I
She
have.
said- she said that's
Can we
not
move
enough.
on? I've answered the question.
Do you believe that a woman's intimate parts belong to her male partner?
Of course not. I've just answered the question.
You just answered that. You said exactly that.
We've done that 3 times.
And does this woman believe that her man's car belongs to her? It's not a gendered argument. I really
That's fucking great. She got him. I can't lie.
think
Kinda
that
got him. Let's be
it's
honest.
genuinely sad that when the BBC has a chance to finally interview me at the end of all this Matrix attack, that they don't.
Fuck me, dog. Like, this moment right here is crazy, to be honest with you. She really got him, bro.
her male
Of
He
course
was
not.
like, yeah, of course. You can't own your wife. Oh my god. She really got him to say it. Oh wow. You know what? Fuck all. Everything that I said before, forget it, bro. She's actually a fucking genius. I can't believe she made him say that.
I've just answered the question.
You just answered that. You said exactly that.
We've done that 3 times.
And does this woman believe that her man's car, what I'm talking about, but I've got this piece of paper.
Like, look at this moment, bro.
Print it off. That's why you're saying the silly things you're saying. You should watch the show, do some research.
Do you believe it?
You already answered
I've
that.
already answered the question.
Not really.
Of course I
Yes,
have.
you said there's nothing
Can we
else.
move on? I've answered the question.
Do you believe that a woman's intimate parts belong to her male
Of course not. I've just answered the question.
You just answered that. You said exactly that.
We've done that 3 times.
And does this woman believe that her
Fuck me, bro. I can't believe you said that, Andrew. Lord have mercy. Jesus Christ. You really think women are like free once they're married? What? Yo, Andrew's like is being more and more liberal, bro. Guys, Andrew might be a fucking progressive, okay? I mean, I don't know if you could like bleach this hair out, but he should probably bleach his hair and beard blue. Cause it's it, bro. This is it. This is unbelievable.
man's car belongs to her? It's not a gendered argument. I really think that it's genuinely sad that when the BBC has a chance to finally interview me at the end of all this Matrix attack, that they don't come here with any kind of genuine openness to try and understand my influence over the world, or the things I push, or what I'm trying to teach the world, or why I'm a good influence on the world, because I am a massively good influence. Instead, they come here with pieces of paper, with printed out excerpts from 5-year-old podcasts, taken out of context, to attempt the same,
Podcast. First of all, what you're saying right now is like, I can't believe the BBC aren't like coming here and literally liking me. Like, they don't have to like you, big bro.
Matrix attack on me, which has
Come
been
on, bro.
attempted endlessly. Every single person in legacy media has already tried this, and it doesn't work. I really encourage you. I encourage you to read the comment section on YouTube when this goes on YouTube, and you will see that nobody believes a word you're saying.
The
This is
reason we're
garbage.
asking you about these comments is because we've got the chief executive of Rape Crisis naming you individually as spreading a dangerous ideology of misogynistic
have
rape
mercy.
culture.
Absolute,
It's the comments you make that are leading people to say things like
absolute
this.
garbage.
National organizations who are saying that, are blaming you
I
for
don't know if it's
increasing
because
the-
like I understand what she's trying to do. Okay, because at first I used to be like, I kind of had the idea of like, you could easily embarrass Andrew Tate, right? Like you could easily make him look stupid, but instead of doing that, like I think they're kind of like painting a narrative about him that's obviously damaging, but it also allows him to exist. And I think his existence is like much more profiting for the BBC or whoever for that matter. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like absolutely destroying him and making him look like very silly. Because I think like that could happen. You know what I'm saying? Like I think she has the ability to do that. I think she still doesn't know much about him, but even then,
levels of misogyny, schools that are saying they are having increased incidents of girls being attacked, of female teachers being harassed
If that was
by
true,
pupils
if that,
because of you and your teaching
well, that's
and your influence.
that's absolute garbage. I have never ever encouraged a student to attack a teacher, male or female, ever. I preach hard work, discipline. I'm an athlete.
all I'm
preach
saying is like I think for her, for example, specifically, this is like a higher thing, but for her, she much rather have like Andrew Tate shit on her now, and she might rather what the fuck? She might rather have. Anyways, she prefers for Andrew to shit on her now, right? For Andrew Tate to shit on her now, and then write like 15 articles that will somehow make her career, you know, kind of better, right? She much rather have that than like just destroy him and have like a viral clip. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Andrew Tate isn't big enough. Like it's not like you're destroying like Donald Trump. So for your career, it's not going to be as big. So you much rather have him like just be there and then write articles about him and shit on him. So I think that's kind of the overall thing that the mainstream has. That's why I think they keep talking about him. You know, because they could easily make him look crazy, like very crazy. But they're choosing not to do that. Like, they're like, you know what, whatever, bro.
Drug. I preach religion. I preach no alcohol. I preach no knife crime. Every single problem with modern society, I'm against. I'm teaching young men.
Yeah, like I think for her job portfolio, like it's much better to have Andrew Tate just running around saying these crazy things, because then you could write articles about him and the impact. Like I think that's what it is. I don't know. I'm not sure.
To be diligent, to listen, to train, to work hard, to be exactly like me, with no criminal record, never even yet charged in this 14-month Matrix investigation. And I'm saying that if men grew up like me, which are hardworking and diligent and some emotional control and stoic, we're going to have a better society, not a worse society. To sit here and say that schools in England, which is a failing nation, which has knife crime going through the roof, violence going through the roof, men's mental health going through the roof, and they're going to all blame me because I appeared on the internet 1 year ago, is disingenuous. It's disingenuous. And also,
financial success
correct.
With a Bugatti and a cigar, but it comes with a side order of misogyny.
How does having a Bugatti and a cigar come with misogyny?
Because it's all mixed together in what you teach. You teach that if a woman comes home and accuses you of cheating, you should hit her with a machete, shove her off. Is that
what I teach?
That's what you say.
No, if you actually watch the clip, it will be about the woman attacking me with a machete. As usual, you've not watched the video, taken out of context.
I know I'm like taking words back and shit. I take it back. I think she's stupid, bro. Some of these shit is like, Jesus Christ, girl, are you crazy? Because there's so many ways you could dunk on him, so many opportunities. Like, it's two things. Like, it's either she's not capable to do so, or she's, like, smart enough to understand that, you know, a viral clip might not necessarily be, I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping.
Flipped it and attempted to attack me with a small excerpt. Let me tell you something, Lucy. I'm sure you're a very nice person. I'm sure you're a fantastic person, but if I were to take everything you've ever said online and just take small excerpts out of context, I could make you look like a misogynist. I guarantee it. In fact, I might actually do that. And then you're going to sit here and say, oh shit, I'm a misogynist because my clips have been taken out of context. If you refuse to watch anything at length and understand it, then that's what's going to happen.
The National Police Chiefs League for Violence Against Women, the NSPCC, Rape Crisis, Safer Schools, they are all naming you as being behind an epidemic of misogyny, even amongst primary school children.
The idea that I made primary school children misogynistic because I own a nice car. Is that your argument?
It's the misogyny that comes along with it.
Oh, owning a nice car is misogynist.
No, it's the misogyny that comes along with it.
How does misogyny come along with owning a nice car?
Because
what did she even just say? Hold on. I think she said something. I missed it.
The idea that I made primary school children misogynistic because I own a nice car. Is that your argument?
It's the misogyny that comes along with it.
Oh, owning a nice car is misogynist.
No, it's the misogyny that comes along with it.
How does misogyny come along with owning a nice car?
Because you have an image of financial
I'm glad you're answering my questions now. We finally got the dynamic.
You have an image of financial success.
Answer my questions, as you should.
Excuse me. You have an image of financial success, but it comes along with attitudes towards women that are really problematic.
My attitudes towards women is that women should be protected and provided for, and I've said that at length.
You know what's fucking fascinating to me, bro? She just hit it. Like, generally, they would be okay with Andrew Tate if he wasn't so fucking misogynist, bro. Like, the whole crazy, having Bugatti, I'm rich, even though I work with the mafia type of attitude that he has, would have been okay if he wasn't only if he wasn't misogynist. Andrew Tate would have been a great guy for society, which is not true, you know.
In fact, I've said that over 50 times online, you never mention it. I say that my girlfriend doesn't have to work unless she wants to, I take care of her, I die to protect a woman. I've talked about how I've stood up and faced a knife to protect a woman.
And in return, you want authority over her in the way you have over a child or a dog.
Absolutely not. I've said that women should be protected and provided for.
And in return, you want authority over her, because if you have responsibility for someone like a child or a dog, you say, you have authority over them.
If you want to go down this argument, we'll go down this nuanced argument.
Lord have mercy. Are you saying like you have fucking authority over your child? Okay, that's a fucking self-report, first of all. Okay? Joseph. She looks like a Josepha. Is that a name? Josepha? Joseph. Anyways, listen. Yeah.
I said that if I have responsibility for her safety, I should have a degree of authority over her safety. Meaning, Meaning, and let me explain my point. If I'm the one who has to fight and die to protect her, I'm the one who decides how we walk home. I'm the one who decides.
What the fuck does anybody, any man in the world, fight and die to protect their... Where, bro? Where the fuck does that... I genuinely want to know. Like, where does... Where are men dying and fighting for, like, women to protect them? What the But this just goes back to, like, how objective... Like, he's, like, talking about women the same way he talks about, like, his fucking cars, bro. It's, like, so crazy. It's like, yo, what? Fight and die to protect them. What? What the fuck?
Because it's unfair for her to say, I want to walk through the most dangerous neighborhood in the world, but you have to face the knives. That's what I've said. And then you're going to sit here and pretend that I'm trying to treat women like dogs, which is garbage. Every single man in the world who loves this woman understands that he has to protect her. And every single woman in the world likes the idea of a woman, of a man.
Okay, so the idea is like... Okay, bro. Oh, Lord. Like...
And who would protect her? If you were to say to most women home right now, do you want your husband to protect you in a violent attack? They'd say, yeah, of course. Nothing I've said is misogynistic.
If you said to most women, would you want to lose authority in the relationship, to not be treated as a free and legal equal to your...
I didn't say that. I said I need to have authority over the route we walk home.
When you compare women and the authority over women that you believe you should have to having authority over a child or a dog, it's not the same, because a woman is a free, legal adult.
Correct.
You're equal.
Free, legal adult, my equal. But if I had a girlfriend and we were walking home late at night, and I said, let's not walk down that area, it's a bad area, I have to protect you if anything happens, I want to take the long way. And she said, no, I have to walk this way, even though it's the most dangerous route, I must.
Then what?
And then I would say, you're welcome to, you could do it.
It's fucking boring, bruh. I don't care.